Refer to Timiskaming-Cochrane.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. The upcoming May 2-4 weekend, otherwise known as the May Run weekend, is a rite of passage in Northern Ontario, and camping is a big part of our culture in the North. And one of the most beautiful places, there's many beautiful places, but one of the most beautiful places is the River Valley Park, close to River Valley. Okay. Tony DeBoer and his family have been owned and operated this park for years, but they're being squeezed by hydro costs. Last year, for the same amount of power, their costs went up by $2,400 for the same amount of power. Wow. Why has this government ignored the plight of struggling small businesses like Tony and River Valley Park?
Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Not knowing the specifics of the small business that the honourable member is talking about, the one good news, Mr. Speaker, that I can say to him to tell to those constituents is that the Ontario Fair Hydro Plan, if passed, will bring forward 25% reduction for all 500,000 small businesses right across our province, Mr. Speaker. And then, of course, there's folks that live in the rural or remote parts of Northern Ontario, and he is right, Mr. Speaker, that the Red River area and throughout parts of northeastern Ontario is a beautiful part of our province. These families are going to see a 40 to 50% reduction on their electricity bills, Mr. Speaker, and that's all thanks to us bringing forward the RRP, the Rural Remote Rate Protection Plan, Mr. Speaker. We've increased that. We've increased that from $20 to $60 to $135 on average for a Hydro 1 R2 customer, Mr. Speaker. That is significant relief on top of the 25% reduction.
Supplementary.
Again, to the Premier, River Valley Park is a place where northern families have come for years to relax and enjoy nature, and they're also struggling to pay their own hydro bills. I guess the question they all want to ask is, so how much is their power going to go up after the quote-unquote fix for the next election? How much is it going to go after the 4 years? How much is their power going up? You should know, Minister. How much is their power going up? Thank you.
Thank you. Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, it's going down by 25% if we actually can get the opposition to actually vote in favour of this, Mr. Speaker. And those families that are in his area, when I know the Minister of Agriculture was just up there, Mr. Speaker, talking about some great work that we're doing in talk about agriculture, Mr. Speaker, in that part of our great province, they were talking about the 40 to 50% reduction that they're going to see on top of that. Mr. Speaker, we've got the 2017 long-term energy plan that is going to come out in the very near future, projecting where energy costs and electricity costs are going to go, Mr. Speaker. But rest assured, we are going to do everything we continue to do, Mr. Speaker, to pull costs out of the system. We've got market renewal happening. We've got market reform. We've got a capacity auction, Mr. Speaker. All of these things, all of these items will continue to take costs out of the system because we have a plan, Mr. Speaker, a plan that will work for all families, no matter where they live in our great province.
Thank you.